And do you think a lot of filmmakers get overzealous and they put their first feature in something thinking that it's going to work? Or, I mean,
yeah, I think you make it, of course. I made my first movie being like, it's going to play at Sundance, and then I'm going to get to make my next film. I mean, you kind of have to have that, like, vision for yourself, but at the same time, it shouldn't dictate everything. And I think, of course, if you can get your first film to play there, you absolutely should. I would play anything I could there. So I certainly think you should always aim the highest you can, but also not. I think what happens then, you put so much expectation on it, so much value on the festival, that then if you don't, and I see this happen to me briefly, and I've seen it happen to a lot of people, that if you don't get in, then you feel like it's indicative of your worth, you know? It's like if you don't do well in the SATs, it makes you feel like you're dumb, when the SATs don't really, you know, they don't have, it's kind of the same feeling. Like it shouldn't dictate that at all, because they see so many films, and ultimately they have an MO. They have a certain amount of films, a certain program, some movies with one storyline, and they want different storyline. You know, they have their own goals that are separate from your own. And having said that too, if you do get in, and then your movie doesn't blow up there, you know, it's like if your movie doesn't become one of the big overnight sales, like my movie wasn't it's gonna sell, we're gonna get distribution, I'm really happy about it, people are gonna get a chance to see it. It's exactly what I expected the path to go down, but of course you go to the festival hoping, I'm gonna be, you know, Beasts, or I'm gonna be Fruitvale, or I'm gonna be whatever it might be. You want to be like that breakout, but only one movie or two movies every year got to be that breakout. So it's unfair for you to put yourself in that expectation to say, well, if I don't break out from this, and if there aren't people knocking my door to make the next film, like, that's unreasonable to put on to any. You can't gauge what is going to hit a certain audience at a certain time. So, anyways, I guess my whole goal is, my whole thing. I'm going off on tangents, but my whole feeling about it is that you can't expect the industry, by that I mean the festival industry or the industry, to like hand you anything just because you made your first film, or even just because you made your second film, or even just because you made your third. Like, if anything I've learned along the way is like, it's not necessarily going to get easier. You have to keep on proving yourself, and you have to keep on fighting for yourself. Sure, some people their movie blows up and then they get all the opportunities handed to them, but that's one out of every, 200, 300 filmmakers, and so doesn't mean that I'm going to stop making films just because one movie didn't do as well as another movie or something. I think that you just can't expect. You can hope, I guess, plan. It's like you can plan for Sundance, but don't expect it. You can plan for success, but don't expect success. I think that's like the best advice. Not you put too much pressure on yourself.
Do you think in some sense it almost gets harder? Because people love discovering new things and they want to embrace it and they want to be the first to jump on. And then once something's already established, then the peanut gallery comes out, whether it's from jealousy or just, I could have done a better job or whatever. And it seems like it's almost harder in some sense.
Some ways it gets harder, some ways it gets easier. Like I said, like casting got easier because I could get access to these amazing actors that I loved because I had a film to show for myself, so they could watch and be like, okay, it takes away some risk for them. They can say, I liked his first movie, so yeah. But in other ways it gets a lot harder because you're not a blank slate anymore. So people can't project how they think you're going to be. Financiers can't project. They can see your film and then they can say, well, the first one didn't really make that much money, and yeah, it got awards, but how many people saw it, whatever they can use that as. But I think the true people are going to see potential. The true people who you want to collaborate with will see what you were trying to do and whether you achieved it or not, and see how you might bring that into the next film and grow from it. I hope people see that. But yeah, in some ways it does get absolutely harder. It took longer for me to make my second film than my first film, and we made it cheaper. So it wasn't necessarily money. It's just the nature of how challenging is the material.